Greetings, my name is Timothy Collinson and I'm the Faculty Librarian for Technology. This video is going to take you a little bit further into actually finding journal articles for your assignments, for your dissertations, perhaps even your further research. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we're going to go to the library homepage, which you will find at library.port.ac.uk. And you can see there that we've got the main first page there, and I'm going to click on the top right corner on Search Library Resources. If that's under the little video picture of me, I'm sorry, but it is there. Click on Search Library Resources and it will take us to our Discovery and Catalogue and website search page, as you can see there. I'm going to stick with Discovery at the top, but two things to notice here. Firstly, you can just use the simple search box there, but particularly if you're at dissertation level or you're a master's level or perhaps doing a PhD, you probably want to consider using the advanced search page, and that's what I'll show you in a moment. The other thing to notice is that Discovery is really powerful at searching many of our databases, but it doesn't search all of them. How do you find the other databases? Well, we've built subject pages for you where we list those resources and tell you if they're in Discovery or if they're not in Discovery. And there's another video in this series which introduces our subject pages, and I would warmly recommend that so that you're not missing out on resources that would help you with your work. So let's click on the advanced search page there. And you'll see now, instead of one simple box, we've got three boxes and a little bit more detail that we can put in. And I'm going to do a search here for something like artificial intelligence. I don't want all of that. I know that that will produce like 10 million results. So I'm going to put that in quote marks so that it looks for it slightly as an exact expression rather than the two words, although that will still produce lots of results. And I'm also aware of other possibilities like AI or A.I. which you will treat as different searches. In fact, many of our databases do. It's only Google which will ignore punctuation, although you can use the quote marks in Google, which is a helpful tip to know as well. So much I could have done in the simple search box, but I now want to add some terms. Having thought about a topic that I'm interested in, I'm going to say that I'm interested in ethics. And here I might truncate, so it will look for ethics, ethical issues, all of that kind of thing. And we can get more results that way. But we're now saying in the top box we want this particular topic, and then in the next box with this and, we're saying that we want another topic. And if you've got alternative words for ethics, of course, you could put that in. And even that I know is going to produce a lot of results. So I'm going to put in a further search term, and this would certainly be at dissertation level. And this one I'm not going to truncate or put in quote marks. So we'll do that search and see what happens. Takes a little moment to come in sometimes. If you've got a faster internet connection, that might be a lot more instant. And you can see that it's still finding nearly 500,000 results there, 481,847 results, which is obviously way too much to deal with. And you can also see that it's finding book material there as the first hit. And if you scroll down, you'll find there's a working paper. You might find journal articles. You might find conference proceedings. Sometimes right down at the bottom of the page, you find little videos as well. So what can we do to kind of get our search even more focused on what we want? Well, the first thing you might notice underneath the search box are these filter options. And the first one I'm going to look at, it says all time. And I'm going to say, well, artificial intelligence is such a changing, rapidly developing subject. I actually only want material from the last 12 months. So that will just find items from the last year or so, and you can see that's reduced it to 122,000 results. But I'm also going to say, perhaps this is for a dissertation, or perhaps I'm at PhD level or at master's level, I just want peer-reviewed journal articles, and you can do that. But before I click on that, let me just show you an alternative that may get you even better results that you need. If we click on all filters, we'll come over here and we'll scroll down there past some of the other things there to get to source type. And then in source type, you can say, for example, that you want academic journal articles and conference proceedings and you can skip the magazines and news items and ebooks and that kind of thing. So that is one way of really honing in on the kind of material you want. So you need to have a little think in your searches about what is it that I'm looking for? Am I looking for a book to give me an underpinning of a subject? Am I looking for journal articles to really nail down that argument I'm trying to make and to provide the supporting evidence? Or do I want something completely different, perhaps news items and so on, which may be relevant in some topic areas? You can then still, so that's producing 111,000 things. You could still click on peer-reviewed journal articles if you want, and it will chuck out the journal articles that haven't been peer-reviewed, but as you can see, it's not actually got rid of very many of them. So you might want to take a look at the all filters again and see if there's any other filters that you want to add. And you can see now we've got quite a lot of filters added, but you can see there's lots of other options that you could do. You could, for example, look for particular subject areas. You could look for particular languages down at the bottom, or even different regions of the world. I'm not going to do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the advanced search and show you another way of narrowing down your search is, as well as adding keywords like we've already done, and if we wanted to add a fourth kind of topic area, we could do that by adding a row. But I'm going to go over to all fields and say that actually the ethics of artificial intelligence is what I'm particularly interested in. So I would like that to definitely be in the title of whatever we're looking for. And you could see there, we could also search for particular authors, say if we had a particular, I don't know, academic, we were interested in finding out what they'd written. So I'm going to limit this now with ethics in the title, and you can see that instead of over 100,000 items, it'll really reduce our results, but they should be more relevant because that particular idea and concept will be in the title of the article. So you can see that by changing the concepts that you put in, and you can see that by choosing the fields that you search, you can radically change the results that you're getting. And if you'd like more on that, then take a look at our video on analyzing your keywords, and then also analyzing the concepts that you've got in your topics, and then developing keywords for those searches, which can be really powerful. A couple of things to point out while we're here. It's showing 10 results at the moment. If you want to increase that, you can change it to say 50, but you can also scroll down and it will just increase the pages. You can also change it from relevance to, for example, the newest items first, if you prefer that. And over on the left-hand side, you've got a couple of other things you can do. So, for example, you can save your search sets to a little account. If you've made a little account, you can see your recent activities, and you can set up alerts on a particular search as well. If you do set up an alert, I would encourage you to make sure it's quite a narrow topic, or you'll get too much information. And if you want to, you can also click on the concept map, which will have a look at the keywords that you've put in, and it will offer you a different way of thinking about the different words and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on, where's the scroll button? Here we are. It's going to give us a kind of grid version of things there, but we can also click on a map, so you can actually get a concept map that might give you other ideas of where you want to go off to explore. I won't get into that now, but you can explore that yourselves. So if I stop sharing there, that's a very brief introduction into how you can begin to find information in our discovery service and get into those journal articles and conference proceedings, particularly, which are the kind of scholarly information that you need to support the arguments you're making in your assignments and dissertations. If you've got any questions about that, as usual, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us through email or coming in face-to-face or using our chat system. And thank you.